How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about this crazy story that's been gaining a lot of traction all over the internet, all over social media. I'm not quite sure if it's hit the actual real news or so-called real news on television as of yet, but this story is one I wanted to cover because I've seen this. I've seen certain stories about this, and sometimes I can't really tell if it's a parody, if it's fact, if it's fiction. I don't know what's going on. But the situation is a singer by the name of Ginuwine, and if you don't know who he is, I'll play a little bit of one of his most famous songs right here. And you pretty much know what that is. That's a song called Pony. A very, very famous song at this point. It's been out for, I think, 20 years, but it's pretty much a timeless song. This is the guy that is behind it. And he is on some kind of British reality show. I think it's British Big Brother, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong about the exact name of the show, please let me know in the comments below what the real name is. But he's on this kind of reality show, and he finds himself on the couch with a transgender woman, a man, a person that was born as a man that now identifies as a woman. They're on the couch together, and somehow the topic of would you date somebody that's transgender, a transgender woman, would you date somebody like that? Somehow that topic came up. And I guess it was some kind of point of contention because the person was saying, the person that is right next to Ginuwine, we're going to see the clip in a little bit, is right here. But the person is saying, it's kind of like discrimination, this, that, and the third. What I'm going to do is play this short clip, and then after we get done playing the clip, we're going to skip to another article on BET.com. And the reason why we're going there is because they've compiled some of the reactions to the situation. Some people are actually saying that what Ginuwine did in this case was wrong. But we're going to get to all of that in a moment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Okay. Forget about any tease or anything in front of it. I'm just a woman, okay? So on that score, you would date me, wouldn't you?
Not if you told me you was trans.
No, I'm not telling you I'm trans. I'm a woman.
A woman, yeah.
Go on, let's have a kid.
See, right here, this is where I had to stop it right here because I can't play the whole thing because it's beyond 30 seconds and I don't want to get them try to claim it. But right here, this is when this man, you see the person, the white woman or man that claims to be a woman, they tried to kiss Ginuwine, who is the guy, obviously the male, the actual male in the picture. He's like, no, I'm not with the kissing. He was just cool, kind of like cuddling up with the person just to kind of play, but to kiss, do all that, nah, I'm good. I draw the line right there. So that's what that is. Let's keep watching the rest of this clip, and then we're going to see what the woman in the situation says.
And I think
it's just not that into
I think all the unspoken things that you can read into both those responses illustrate my case 100%.
Okay, so the person is saying since Ginuwine didn't want to engage in the kiss or anything like that, then somehow I guess he's transphobic or he is treating her differently, treating him differently. I'm sorry. These gender pronouns and all of that is just wearing me out. I mean, whatever happened to being able to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and not have to really worry about what you're saying. Know that you're saying the correct thing. I'm not even really sure. We're going to go ahead and just skip to the next article here. And this is on BET. So here's the headline of this article. Ginuwine refused to kiss a trans woman on live TV, and now the internet is at war. And the subhead here says, some are arguing whether the singer's latest actions were transphobic or not. So let's just get this straight. Some people are trying to say that if you don't want to kiss a man, if you are a straight man, then it makes you transphobic. Okay, I'm going to get into my personal feelings about the situation a little bit more after we get done reading some of the comments. And you see this headline here, or this subhead. Some people on Twitter are outraged, suggesting the singer was being transphobic. One person says, in regards to the discussion on celebrity, I'm not really sure what that is. I guess that's the name of the actual TV show, Big Brother. I don't know, Celebrity Big Brother, whatever it is. Between India, that's the person in all white, the white woman, man, whatever. And Ginuwine, I do believe that Ginuwine saying he wouldn't date a trans woman came off as absolutely transphobic, just like saying you wouldn't date a black person is racist. They did kind of go on to clarify their statement. And of course, this will be in the description box. But let's just do what they said right here and not go through all the other tweets. Because basically in the other tweets, to sum it up, they were saying that the person forcing themselves on Ginuwine was wrong. But let's just do with this right here. Okay, how is it transphobic if you don't want to date a so-called trans woman? How is that being transphobic? Maybe you have a preference. Is there anything wrong with having the preference? I might want to date blue-eyed, green-skinned, 4-foot-tall midgets wearing cowboy boots and space helmets. Okay, am I wrong for that? Am I wrong for having that preference, for not wanting to date anyone else outside of that? Okay, am I wrong? As long as they are actually a human being, you know, you can't get into species and stuff like that, but I digress. As long as we're dating human beings and they consent and I consent, then that's fine. We're both adults. We consent. We're human beings. That's all you need. Okay, I'm living, she's living. Ain't no necrophilia or nothing like that going on. She's of age. I'm of age. We consent. That's it. Nothing else should matter. Nobody else's outside thing should make a difference. If somebody proposes that they want to kiss me and I say no, it doesn't matter why I do it. It doesn't even matter if I do it because of their race or if it's vice versa. If I, step to a woman that's not black or of any race for that matter, it could be a black woman too. If I step to any woman and then I try to kiss her or I try to go out with her and she says no, it doesn't matter why she feels that way. It could be a black woman, white woman, Puerto Rican, candy stripe or whatever. They could say, I don't want to date you because you're black. Okay, that's fine. I might get offended or you might get offended for me if you think that the person is being racist, but it's irrelevant because that's their personal decision. I can't force them to not be quote unquote racist or have a racial preference. And the truth is most people have racial preferences. 90% of black men that are married to black women. So is that racist to say that, oh, well, since we're only about 13% of the population, then you should be more open to dating other types of women? I don't know the numbers when it relates to other races, but it's probably right around the same thing. 90% or more that marry within their race or they have children within their race. What's wrong with that? That is a decision that two adults make. They both consent and that's it. Nothing else has to be said. So the same thing goes here. If Ginuwine does not want to kiss a man who thinks that they're a woman, that is his prerogative to do so. Let's get to the next one here from Sushio. And they say today confirmed out Ginuwine and Nipsey are both transphobic, homophobic, and I'm tired but not surprised. Like I'm just trying to enjoy y'all art, but you had to be trash. Okay, whatever this person is saying, English might not necessarily be their first language, but we're going to go ahead and just try to get through it here. Nipsey Hussle is a rapper, and I think what happened with him is that he was saying about how the media tries to portray black men as either homosexual or thugs, and he was trying to rally against that. And I guess people got offended because maybe they're gay or maybe they don't like him saying that it's something wrong with being portrayed as homosexual. But I think that Nipsey Hussle had a point. I mean, homosexuality is not a widespread phenomenon. It's not something that everybody is engaging in. You're talking about less than a percent of the population, a fraction of a percent of the population. 5% would be a stretch too far, in my humble opinion. I'm thinking it's less than 1%. So why is it that every time you see somebody that's popular or famous, they have to be gay or androgynous or something like that? That is not a common thing. It's an oversaturation of it. So what he said was true. And Ginuwine having his own personal preference, there's nothing wrong with that. And something else about Ginuwine, if you didn't know, he was a married man for at least about 15 years or more to a woman named Soleil. He has a bunch of kids with her and with many other women. I think he has beyond 10 kids. And I'll place a picture of him and some of the kids, or mostly all of them, on the screen before you. He has a lot of kids. This is not somebody that is, somehow a fence rider or something like that. Respect that man and their sexuality the same way if somebody was gay, you got to respect that. If a person, let's say a woman is a lesbian and she's beautiful, you're talking about the creme de la creme, like, mwah. However, she does not like men. You can't say that she's wrong for not liking men. That's her choice. Her body, her choice, right? Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to my body, my choice? I guess because Ginuwine did not want to kiss a man, then the whole my body, my choice thing doesn't even matter. Sexual assault, sexual harassment does not apply when the person doing a sexual assault or harassment happens to be transgender and you don't want anything to do with it. But I digress. Kiera says the stuff between India and Ginuwine is transphobia, and I'm tired of them saying it isn't. If you say you won't date someone because they're trans, but you would date them if you didn't know, it is transphobia. I mean, look, there's a lot of different reasons why you may not want to date somebody. I mean, somebody might be into drugs. They might be into gambling. They might not have the same religion as you. They may have different politics than you. Whatever the reason is, that is your decision to make. You can't say that a person is wrong for making a decision about who they want to date, who they don't want to date, who they want to kiss and who they don't want to kiss. That's their prerogative to make that decision. And let's get down to Pineapple Jimmy here. They say Ginuwine discriminates against trans women, as do most cis men. That was India's point. So what? So what? I mean, look, I'm a straight man, so I discriminate against men. What's wrong with that? Just like a straight woman discriminate against women. Just like if you are gay and you're not bisexual. If you're gay, you discriminate against the opposite sex in favor of the same sex. What's wrong with that? That's your decision to make. You can do that. Okay. You do that in everyday life. You discriminate against certain foods. Okay. I don't like cheese, eggs, milk. Okay. I discriminate against dairy products. All right. I don't like tilapia farm raised. I discriminate against farm raised tilapia. What's wrong with that? Everybody discriminates. When you're talking about the government discriminating against you because of your race and stuff like that, that's different because we all pay taxes. We don't have to, buy into the government. If I'm paying taxes, the government can't say, okay, we're going to take your money, but you can't get certain services because of your race or whatever. That's illegal. You can't do that. But when it comes to my own personal choices, who I want to deal with romantically, who I want to give some money to or whatever it is, that's my choice. If I see a bunch of restaurants on the strip, fast food joints, I see McDonald's, Chick-fil-A or whatever, I discriminate against all the other ones in favor of one. That's my choice. And maybe the next day I'll do something different. That's my choice. This person says, India says she has a phobia of people who do drag, but hates when people are transphobic. Then she says she would never date a woman, but gets upset when Ginuwine says you would never date a trans woman. Exactly. That's hypocritical right there. So the person, this India, the white woman, the white man just as a woman, say that they don't like people who do drag. They have a fear of so-called drag queens, right? And they said that they would never date an actual woman. The person said that they weren't gay. It was weird. This dude dressed as a woman in a dress, the whole shebang. I'm not quite sure about his twig and berries or whatever, but I'm gonna digress. This person believes that they're a woman, said that they're not gay. So I guess because they think they're a woman and they're not gay, they don't like women. Okay. So what if I was to say, hey, you should kiss that woman over there? Wouldn't that be against what they think and what they've actually said on television that they don't do? But yet Ginuwine is wrong for what he believes. Katie says, irrespective of how nasty India is, and she hates other trans people too, does Ginuwine know how much he's insulted all trans women by saying he'd never date a trans woman? Also presumptuous and arrogant and fair to assume we'd all be lining up to go out with him. He never say that. He never said that. The person just asked a question. He was like, no, if you say that you are a trans woman, I'm just not with it. That's fine. It doesn't matter why. He just doesn't want to do it. And then some were defending Ginuwine, which is good. Katie says, okay, this is just the one I read here. And the response to that was India asked Ginuwine if he date a trans woman, and he simply said no, just like when India was asked if she date a woman and she said no. Exactly. It's the same thing. It's called personal preferences. And then Katie says, yes, it's not all about India. By saying he never date a trans woman, he's just shown how prejudiced he is towards all trans women. And you know what? We never even offered to go out with him anyway. So Mr. Ginuwine is a bit presumptuous and arrogant to assume you would. And then James says, that's ridiculous. He's entitled to his own sexual preferences. Amen. And that doesn't include trans women, but plenty more fish in the sea for India. Exactly. There are some men that might want to date this person in India. And that's fine. If they want to do that, that's their business. If you got men that want to date other men, that's nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. But I tell you what, don't try to tell me that I must date you because of your identity. I could date whoever I want as long as they reciprocate, as long as it's consensual between two adults. Okay? I want to date them. They want to date me. We make it happen. If I want to date them and they don't want to date me, nothing happens. If they want to date me and I don't want to date them, nothing happens. Very simple, not hard to understand. The reasoning behind it is irrelevant. Denise says, why are people so stupid? Ginuwine was the one being harassed. Get that. Come on, people. Exactly. Because, you know, the whole kissing and all this and that. Nah, I'm good. Don't try to kiss me and all that. No, thank you. Ashley says, Ginuwine saying he wouldn't date a trans woman is a preference, not discrimination. Plus, he barely knows the woman or the person, whatever you want to call that individual. If you out here kissing random people, then you got a problem. Yes, exactly. So, look, this whole thing is just dumb. But you know what? It was something that is not difficult to predict. This whole thing was dumb, but you know what? It was easy to predict that this would happen. It's a slippery slope. I've said this before. Once you start getting into the whole trans thing and all these gender pronouns and all this and that, and then you start to say that everything is obic, or ist, then of course this would come up. You would say somebody is transphobic because they don't want to date or kiss another man. What kind of malarkey is this? I'm not surprised though, because this is just the way that we live nowadays. Everything is just up for grabs. Nothing is rock solid. Nothing is certain. It's just a mess. But I don't have too much more to say. I think I've made my point very crystal clear, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse any longer. But what do you think? Do you think that the singer Ginuwine is wrong for not wanting to kiss a transgender woman? And if you think that way, then please explain to me why. And also, another question I would ask you, if you think that way, would it be the same thing if a woman did not want to kiss a man? What if a woman says, I don't want to date men? And then the man said, well, you being discriminatory against men. Okay. I mean, come on. Like, whatever happened to personal preference? Just because you may be offended at why a person doesn't want to do something, even though it's none of your business, but just because you are offended doesn't mean that the person that you are upset with must kowtow to your wishes. What about their wishes? What about my body, my choice? Does that not apply when the person is transgender or when you are personally offended? But do you think, I'm on point with what I've been saying so far, that Ginuwine or whoever else has a right to make their own decisions for their life? Okay. It's all about two adults consenting to whatever they're doing. Okay. If I want to date somebody, they want to date me, then we can make it happen. If I want to kiss somebody, they want to kiss me, we can make it happen. Anything else is just not right. You're going to have some sexual assault, sexual harassment, stuff like that. Those things are not legal. Okay. Discrimination is okay. The only time when discrimination is not okay is when it's from the federal government or local government that you pay taxes to. Aside from that, it's fine. If I don't want to serve you in a restaurant, that's fine too. There's certain laws against that, but I personally think that that's fine. I know one thing for sure, and one thing for certain as I close, there's no law against someone saying that they don't want to kiss somebody for whatever the reason may be. But whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.